going on, guys? Welcome back into another video. Today, guys, we are taking a look at our first Strand Broodweaver build for Season 20. We're going to have a few different ones of these throughout the season, but this one's a lot of fun to use, and this is going to really key on one of the new exotics for this season, which is going to be the Swarmer's boots on the Warlock. Now, we're also utilizing some of the new mods within the new system to synergize the build and to ensure that we're getting abilities back as fast as possible so we can spawn as many threadlings as we possibly can. And before we get into it, guys, if you are enjoying the content on the channel, be sure to hit that thumbs up and sub to the channel. It definitely helps me out, and I certainly appreciate the support. Now, to start things off, we are going to be using the Needle Storm Super because it is our only choice as of right now. We're also going to be pairing that with a Healing Rift and Burst Glide as well. Now, moving over to our melee, we're going to be using the Arcane Needle. Now, this allows you to sling a woven needle that will embed in your target, unraveling them. Activate your melee ability again to chain up to 2 additional attacks there as well. And for the grenade, guys, we're going to be using the Threadling Grenade, which is a woven projectile that reweaves itself into threadlings while in flight. Now, moving over to our aspects, we're going to be using Weaver's Call. Cast your Rift to weave 3 threadlings and deploy any threadlings you have perched. And the second aspect we're using is Mind Spun Invocation. Now, what's great about this one is it's going to allow us to hold to consume our Threadling Grenade and immediately generate 5 perched threadlings. Now, I don't know the exact number on this one. We've been playing around with it over the last day or so, but I want to say every time you consume your grenade and then drop your Rift, you're dropping anywhere between 6 to 8 threadlings every time you do that, which is amazing. Now, moving over to our fragments, the first one we're using is Thread of Finality. Now, this one allows finisher final blows to create more threadlings. This also gives us a +10 in recovery. Now, next up is Thread of Warding. Picking up an Orb of Power grants Woven Mail. Now, Woven Mail encases your body in a protective mesh of tightly woven strand matter, greatly reducing any incoming non-precision damage. This does give us a -10 hit to our resilience, but trust me, it is completely worth it. Now, next up, we are using Thread of Ascent. Activating your grenade ability reloads your equipped weapon and grants bonus airborne effectiveness and handling for a short duration. This also gives us a +10 in mobility. And the last fragment we're using is going to be Thread of Fury. Damaging targets with a tangle grants melee energy. This is also going to take 10 strength away from our build. Now, moving over to the armor portion of the build, guys, the thing that we're trying to do with this whole thing is really generate orbs of power so we can get that grenade, we can get that rift back as much as possible. Now, to start things off on my helmet, I'm rolling both with a kinetic siphon and an arc siphon. Now, this is super subjective because you guys can basically plug and play whatever you want here as long as it's in line with the weapons you're using and it's able to generate orbs of power. In my case, I've been using Osteostriga a lot in my kinetic and a Forbearance GL to be able to get those arc kills as well. Both of those weapons are going to generate orbs of power with these mods. Now, moving over to the gauntlets, guys, I am rolling with a double grenade kickstart. When your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. Additionally, your armor charge is consumed and you gain additional grenade energy for each stack. And I also threw on heavy-handed, which is your powered melee final blows, creates another orb of power. Now, on our chest, I am rolling a double charged up armor mod, which increases the maximum number of stacks of armor charge we can carry by 1. Now, multiple copies of this mod stack and improve its effects as well. Now, moving over to our boots and our exotic of choice for this build, which are the Swarmers. Now, Swarmers, destroying a tangle spawns a threadling. Your threadlings unravel targets that they damage. Now, we're also throwing on double innervation mods, which reduce grenade cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. And we're also throwing on stacks, which is picking up an orb of power grants you 1 additional stack of armor charge. Now, to round things out on our bond, I am throwing on Triple Bomber, which reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. Now, multiple copies of this mod can be stacked to increase the potency of its effect with diminishing returns for each additional copy of the mod. And this one's a huge one because every single time we put that rift down, we're getting a nice big bump to our grenade energy. Now, here's a couple quick tips to help you refine this build and use it the right way. The first thing I would recommend is rolling with 100 resilience and 100 discipline. Obviously, resilience got a little bit of a nerf this season, down to a plus 30% damage reduction, but it's still worth having on. Also, having 100 discipline is huge for getting that grenade back as fast as possible. Also, I think the most effective way to really utilize your abilities here is going to be to consume your grenade first and then drop your rift. That's going to drop all of the threadlings at once and just really unleash hell on all the enemies around you. Now, another thing I would recommend you try to do is to shoot the tangles as much as possible. These will have a 10-second cooldown on spawning, but every time you see those, make sure you shoot them, because every time those things explode and damage a target, you're getting a nice bump back on your melee ability. Now, I'm sure we'll be able to refine this build as the season progresses, as we unlock more fragments and artifact mods. I will say this, it's been a blast to use over the last few days. I think as my first experience with the Strand subclass, it's been an overall good one. I don't know that it feels like the most powerful build in the game, but it's a lot of fun to use, and I think you guys will enjoy using it as well. Now, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions to improve the build, feel free to leave those in the comment section below. Guys, I cannot thank you enough for stopping in and checking out the video. Hopefully, we can make a ton of these build videos throughout Season 20 and the LightFall DLC. And I will plan on seeing you all in the next video.